So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the 6 pillars that I shared with Gaynor, the lady you can see on screen, that helped take her from where she was to being able to reach into a wardrobe and basically put on any dress, any skirt, any pair of jeans and feel absolutely fantastic in them. These 6 pillars were delivered over the course of 6 weeks and helped her to go on to lose 85 pounds. I'll show you some of the clients as well as we go through these 6 pillars. Let's start off by diving into pillar number 1. So starting off with coaching pillar number 1, which is how to create your weight loss environment. And I like to break this down into 2 areas: internal environment and external environment. So the conversations you're having in your head, but also the people around you. And a good example of this was Sue. When Sue came to me, her internal conversation was quite a bit of negativity, although she was a positive lady, but it was sort of featured around her past attempts at losing weight, how she'd sabotage herself, how she didn't think she was capable of maybe exercising or following a healthy eating plan. So the first thing I got her to do was to identify what some of the limiting beliefs she was having. The purpose of that wasn't to sort of suddenly change that overnight. It was more about making her aware of a negative self-talk, because just becoming aware of your self-talk gives you an opportunity to be able to come up with an alternative, but it also makes you realize that if you have got a lot of negative self-talk going on and you don't address it, you put yourself on automatic pilot in terms of, if you're thinking that way, you're going to feel a certain way, and when you feel a certain way, you tend to act a certain way, and often that's quite destructive, and that can lead to poor results when it comes to weight loss. So that's pillar number 1. It's about getting your self-talk addressed. I addressed this with Sue, and she went on and did incredibly well. She was able to lose 71 pounds. She was able to get back into a wedding dress after 34 years. And she also went on and did several fitness type events, including Race for Life and a Kilimanjaro challenge. And that was all by starting off with this first step, which is dealing with your weight loss environment. Coaching pillar number 2 is how to get what you want by developing personal goals. Now, you may be familiar with the mnemonic SMARTER when it comes to goal setting, which stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant and time bound, which is a great place to start. But I like to take it a step beyond that. And when I worked with Gaynor, I got her to create a goal card, and that goal card had an image of her on there with the weight she wanted to achieve and an outfit she wanted to wear. Because when it comes to goal setting, I like to break it down to 3 specific areas. Number 1, how do you want to look and feel, sort of visually, so a visual goal. Number 2, we have a health goal, so maybe getting your cholesterol levels down, your blood pressure down, and any other health markers you want to reduce or improve upon. And then number 3, we've got your hobby goals. So in Gaynor's case, it was she wanted to improve her yoga performance. And the goal that we focus on to begin with is the visual goal, the goal that people want to achieve in terms of how they want to look. So we created that with Gaynor, and this was in week number 2 of the coaching program. She created that goal, and she went on to not only achieve that goal, but she got to such a level in terms of self-confidence, she was able to do a complete makeover photo shoot as well. So goal setting is incredibly important. I've actually used it myself as well. When I had to lose a little bit of weight, I took a photograph, as you can see on screen now, of a guy on the front of a magazine. He was a lot younger than me, but my sort of skin complexion, my sort of colour. And I thought, right, that's what I want to try and achieve. So I got started, and here you can see the picture of me where I recreated the actual magazine front cover. So goal setting using visualization, feeling what it would be like to be at the point where you are at the weight you want to be is incredibly powerful. And it will help you to get through the obstacles that you will inevitably face during your weight loss journey. So the times where you want to self-sabotage, the times when you doubt yourself, the times when you feel like just giving up. If you've got a really powerful goal, something that you really want, it will keep you going towards that goal when things get a bit more tricky. Coaching pillar number 3, how to eat to look and feel great. Now, I don't cover the eating side of my program until week 3, which comes as quite a surprise for a lot of the clients I work with when I begin with them. For example, Gaynor, she almost quit after the 2nd week. Why? Because I hadn't given her the definitive eating plan, how much protein, how much fats, how many carbs, how many calories, when to eat, what not to eat. I hadn't done that from the get-go. I basically said to her, look, here's some eating plans as guidelines, but we're not going to really delve into it until week number 3. And she was a bit bemused by that. And I said, look, here's the reason for it. I honestly believe I sat you down now and say, right, write out a healthy eating plan to the best of your ability, and if you stuck to that for 6 weeks, do you think you could lose weight on it? And the answer is an emphatic yes. And I think you would agree. Maybe comment below whether or not you think you could write out your own healthy eating plan now. I think the answer would be yes. But by doing this and giving Gaynor 3 weeks before we actually started speaking about it in a coaching session, it allowed her to delve into her own sort of memory banks, her own experiences, her own knowledge base, create some healthy eating plans, follow them plans. And by the time we got to week number 3, she'd already lost about 5 or 6 pounds. So when we started speaking about healthy eating and how certain foods impact certain hormones, she was more receptive to listening, but more importantly, she had the confidence to know that she was capable of using any information that I'd given her, plus her own information, to be able to create a healthy eating plan that was specialised and unique to her, that would be sustainable long term. And that's really important, that we're coming from a place of your knowledge base rather than me trying to impose what I think you should be eating, because the thing that you create, you're far more likely to stick to that than somebody giving you just a healthy eating plan. So that's coaching pillar number 3, how to eat to look and feel great. Coaching pillar number 4 is healthy eating in your world. So the previous coaching pillar was how to eat to look and feel great. This one is specifically about what does your environment look like? What does your world look like? Because it's going to be entirely different, no doubt, from my world. You know, I work from home. I don't have to commute into work. I don't have those sort of things going on. You may be commuting into work on a daily basis. You may have lots of social events to go to. You may go on holiday several times a year. You know, your life is probably entirely different from mine. So the question is, how are you eating in different scenarios? Because when we find ourselves in different scenarios, we tend to eat differently. For example, a really simple one would be, how do you eat in the evening versus how do you eat at lunchtime? In the evening, that's where you might find yourself not only having your evening meal, but then nibbling on extra food, maybe visiting the cookie jar, maybe having a bit of chocolate, maybe drinking glasses of wine. You know, things you wouldn't do typically during the day. In the evening, you may find yourself doing that. The weekends, again, that's another good example. I often say to my clients, on a weekend, you can easily eat an extra 25 calories. Why? Because we lose the structure of a working week. So when I'm working with clients, what we do is we take a look at where they're eating in different scenarios, and we identify which scenarios are most problematic. So let's say, for example, it's the weekends where they're really falling off the wagon, as it were. We would then identify that and come up with some strategies to overcome falling off the wagon. And what we find is if we do it that way, rather than trying to address everything at once, you address the big one, and then you have that sort of natural domino knock-on effect to the other ones. So that's healthy eating in your world. Hopefully what you're beginning to realize now as I'm sharing these coaching pillars with you and how they are implemented week on week. What I'm not doing with clients is overwhelming them with lots of information. They're getting a coaching pillar delivered. We discuss that. They get some homework. They come back the following week. We discuss it. And then I deliver the next coaching pillar. So that's coaching pillar number 4, which is healthy eating in your world. Coaching pillar number 5, how to exercise to look and feel great. So it's week number 5, and just to be clear, you would have already started off on some sort of exercise program in week 1. It's just that now we're in week 5, we're going to talk about the benefits of what you've been doing, just to give you an even greater understanding and understand the importance of why you're doing certain things in your exercise program, be that weights, be that flexibility, be that cardio. We have that discussion so you really understand it and you really buy into it so that you can keep this up long term. But one of the specific exercises that I get my clients to do in this week is to identify the best time for them to exercise. Now, for me personally, I think exercising first thing in the morning is the best time to do it. And why do I say that? I say that because first thing in the morning, 9 times out of 10, there's nothing happening before you get out of bed. So there's nothing that's going to get in the way. But it also points you in the right direction to start your day off with. You're starting off on the front foot. Whereas if you do it later on in the afternoon or in the evening, it only takes that phone call that distracts you and takes you away to do something else, or you've had a really tiring day and you just don't feel like you've got the energy to be able to do the exercise. So one of the things I do in week 5 with exercise, apart from talking about all the benefits of different types of exercise, is to get my clients to identify that pocket of time where they can allocate 20 to 30 minutes to do some simple exercises. And I mean simple. You see on screen now Marie, how she started off. I have a routine called the 6 appeal. You can see where she started, and you can also see where she got to, and she actually moved beyond that as well. But the key is to identify where you know you can definitely get in 20 to 30 minutes worth of exercise. Once we've identified that, we can then manipulate what goes into that time frame. So the first thing to really nail down is consistency of having that time. Once we've got the consistency in place of being able to allocate that specific 20-30 minute period of time, we can then manipulate it. So I don't get too bent over exactly what you need to do for the first few weeks. I keep it really simple with my 6 appeal workout routine. It really is about making sure you're consistent with your exercise. So that's coaching pillar number 5, how to exercise to look and feel great. Coaching pillar number 6, which is the review and plan. So basically at this point, week number 6, we're going to stop, we're going to pause, and we're going to take stock of where we've got to at this point. We'll be taking a look at your mindset in terms of, how are you getting on in terms of your self-talk, how are you getting on in terms of your diet, how are you getting on in terms of your exercise. We're just going to basically review everything, but also review your goals. Are you on track to achieve your goals? And this is something that you want to be doing throughout the course of your weight loss journey. So when I'm working with clients, typically every sort of 6 to maybe 8 weeks, we'll pause, we'll take a look at where you've got to, like I did with Helen, and then we'll assess where you're going and what you want to achieve in the future. In Helen's case, it was not only about losing weight. Once she'd achieved that, we then spoke about, okay, fine, what else do you want to achieve? She wanted to do the Camino Santiago walk. She also did a few other sort of fitness challenges with her husband. So use the 6-week or 8-week point to pause, take a look at what you've done, make a few tweaks, and then look to move on to the next level. Now, I've shared a lot of information with you here about how to get yourself into great shape. And if any of this has resonated with you and you feel as though you'd like some help to achieve your weight loss goal, all you need to do is click the link below this video to book in for a free initial consultation call with me. During that call, all that's going to happen is I'm going to ask you a few simple questions. You'll ask me a few questions. I'll explain a bit about the program, what the different investment levels are. And if we both think there's a possibility this could be a good fit, what I offer could be a good fit for you, we'd then book a second call. So the initial call really is just about finding out whether or not we think there's a possibility we could work together. So there's absolutely nothing to buy on that initial call. It's just literally, do we think this can work? So if this has resonated with you, go ahead, click the link below, and I'd be delighted to speak to you. Until then, take good care and bye for now.
Well, it's just complete turnaround, really, I guess. I mean, I was always very confident on the outside. I was always the person that could put on the front and turn up and deliver and whatever I needed to do. But behind the scenes, I did lack confidence. I lacked self-belief. And I think that this is, I'm unrecognisable. It's down to, I go shopping, I go into a changing room, try on clothes. I enjoy trying on clothes. There's a social event, I'm now thinking, oh, what shall I wear? Whereas in the past, I'd be like, oh, how can I get out of that? What? Oh gosh, my wardrobe is I've so much gone to charity shops, but just that mismatch of what I was in there. I was really aware when I sorted out my clothes, how many things I sort of clung on. That'll make me look better. That will. Oh, I don't know. And sort of really feeling inadequate, I guess, socially. And now I don't know that, Gaynor. That's how I am. I'm just like this. This is who I am. I wear my children's clothes now. I wear jeans. I enjoy wearing jeans. I've got a variety of what I wear, clothes, and worrying about how I feel about myself isn't really there. Whereas in the past, I'd be like, really needing to psych myself up for confidence. Whereas now it's just natural, really, I suppose. Yeah. Fantastic.